Hey everyone, Andrew Hess here, and today I wanted to introduce to you how easy it is to do conditional column formatting, list formatting in SharePoint now that we have Copilot and other AI tools. And today we're going to edit a SharePoint list, we're going to add some awesome graphics, some emojis, and we're going to make it easy for you to transform your SharePoint list or your Microsoft list to something better. Let's get into it today. So we have this beautiful SharePoint list here. It's a little beautiful. There's some out of the box conditional formatting here, right? We have what SharePoint calls pills. So if you came into one of the columns, you went to column settings and format this column, you could see this is called a choice pill. We also have different background colors and conditional formatting. But today I wanted to take this to the next level and I wanted to make it simple for everyone to do. And if there's one thing that Copilot or AI is really good at right now, it's simple JSON. So right now in 2025, while AI is growing and becoming better and better, right now what it's really good at is simple JSON. So let's convert some of these columns. Let's do some simple formatting. Let's use Copilot to build out these JSON formulas for us so we can just sit back and indulge in the productivity, right? So this is about a productivity boost. We're gonna make SharePoint look awesome. Let's get into it. All right, so I loaded up Copilot here. You can see Copilot. This is Copilot for Windows for me, right? I'm not really using the paid version right now. I just wanted to show simple Copilot. But the first thing I'm gonna do for today, and this may change in the future, if you're watching this video much later than September 2025, this may change. But right down here, you can see I can switch to GPT-5. That's what I'm going to do. This is a new feature today. I'm going to switch to GPT-5 because I think it's a little bit better. And the first thing I'm going to do is let's take a look here. I have a risk column, and this risk column is a text type field. So I wanted to keep it simple first. Right now, each of these low, medium, and high are a text column. So let's change this text column and let's add a little emoji to it of a red, yellow, green stoplight. All right, so I'm going to open Copilot and I'm going to say, I have a SharePoint list with a risk text field. Its options are low, medium, and high. Can you make a JSON, conditional formatting using a red, yellow, green stop sign emoji for this column? So you can reword that however you want, but this is just going to make it very simple for us. Now it looks like it's using stop signs exactly. That's fine. You can see this one has a stop sign, and this is where it's a conversation. Let's say for high, keep it the same rounded ball type emoji. Keep it the same rounded ball type emoji instead of, that stop sign. It looks like it really did a stop sign there. So there we go. Now it's consistent. All I'm going to do is just copy this JSON. I'm going to come to my risk type field, column settings. I'm going to say format this column, advanced all the way down here at the bottom right, Control A, Control V, preview, save, and now we have this risk thing. But let's add a little bit more to it. This is where I think it is a conversation with AI, right? You don't have to stick with the first output. Make sure to have the text after the emoji for high, medium, low. So now we're just reaching out to it again, like, hey, don't forget about that text. Put that in there too. So let's go back to it. Risk, column settings, format this column, paste it in there. There we go. Now it says the text also. So we just used emojis. We have low, medium, high on a text field. It shows the text. It's a nice font size. I like that. I think this looks better than the choice pills. And how long did it take us to do that? Not very long. Okay, so now I have a different field. And this one is called importance. But there's something very important about this importance field. Before, I misspelled importance to important. If we go into the list settings, so let's go into settings, list settings, and let's look for this field here. So it is called importance right here, importance. Now, how do I know that this was renamed? Let me pull this down. How do I know that this was renamed? Now, as a SharePoint developer, I've learned over many years, there are two names for every field in SharePoint. One is the underlying name. That's the name that you give a column the first time you create it. Now, maybe I didn't create this list. Maybe it was imported. Maybe someone else created that list. But me as a detective, a SharePoint detective, I can come in here and I can see in the URL, field equals important, right? So I can see that this field, the underlying field name, was called important before it was renamed to importance. And when we do JSON, we need to use that underlying field name. So we're going to do our JSON on the word important, not on the word importance. All right, so let's go back and let's kind of show that a little bit more. So we're back in our field and now it says importance here. Let's go to Copilot. Okay, now I have a field called important. And it is a choice type field. It is a choice type field with, there's 4 different choices right now with 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, and 4 stars. Can we replace those with emojis of stars for conditional formatting? So once again, I'm just kind of talking to Copilot. We're telling it, hey, make those stars for us now. So I'm going to copy this JSON. You can see how it gives you an example of the result. And I'm going to go to the importance column. I'm going to go to format this column. I'm going to go to advanced mode. And I'm just going to paste in our stars. And there we go. Look at that. Can this get any easier anymore? Like AI is definitely a whole new world. We are becoming developers, full-time developers. We are writing code. We're writing JSON code. So we have one column that says low, medium, high. It was a text field. We have our importance column, which is a choice field, right? And we can have these conversations with Copilot to make things easier, much more easier for us. All right, so now I want to do one more and then we'll see where we go from there. I want to do task type. Now I want to pull in some cool emojis. In our task type, this is a choice type field. There are 3 choices: brainstorming, designing, and building. And let's just see what Copilot decides to do for their emojis. And I'll just kind of, give it a look. Okay, I love it. I have another type column. It's choice. And this one, once again, we don't know the underlying column name. So let's take a look in gear, list settings. We're going to look for task type. Task type. We can see that the underlying column name is, let me pull that down here, is type task. So at one point, at the original point, it was called type task. So let's just remember that. That's in the URL. Let's go back. All right, so bring up Copilot again. Another column, it's choice, and it's called type task. And the choices are, let's pull this up a little bit. I don't like how it's all the way down there. Let me pull that up. And its choices are designing, building, and brainstorming. Can you add emojis to the conditional formatting for each of these? So now let's see how it does. Now we're going to give it the option to give it some emojis, and it's kind of decided how to do it. I'm going to press copy. I'm going to click here, column settings, format this column. I'm going to go to advanced down in the bottom right. And then down here in advanced, I'm going to paste this in, preview. we can see it came up with its own emojis. Now let's kind of take a look in here. I want to show you how you can edit this yourself. So we can see we have brainstorming. It has a light bulb. Maybe we want to change that. I'm going to backspace the light bulb. I'm going to press Windows, period. And what does this do in Windows? This opens up my emoji tab. So you have all these emojis that are available to you, all these different ones, and they work on almost all modern browsers now. They also will work on your phone. It doesn't matter if you're using an Apple or a Google phone. It doesn't matter. These emojis will exist and work on your phone. And so let's find one. I kind of saw that one right there. I like this one with the exploding brain, exploding head. Let's do that one for brainstorming. All right. And we can either remove the text or keep the text. I'm just going to keep the text right now. And so now if we scroll back over, we can see we have brainstorming, designing, and building. And we can see those in there. Now let's do a little bit more. Let's have more of a conversation with the AI. So I'm going to go back into column settings, format this column. I'm going to Control A, Control C, and I'm going to give it a little bit more. I want the text to be a little larger, and bold, and the emoji also larger. Here is what I have now. And so now we're kind of telling it how we updated that emoji. And I'm just kind of pasting it in there. And I'm giving it a little bit more. And you can see that it's writing font size 20, bold, text align left. It's doing a flex and a center. And so all this extra coding that I would normally write before AI, before I had Copilot to do all the work for me, I would normally write this. And so we can just come in here, paste it in there, and we can see that it's now bold and it's a little bit bigger. So that's looking great to me. I really like the way that looks so far. We are changing the way that SharePoint looks simply by using Copilot quickly and effectively. But one thing I realized is I really don't like this column in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a group by. I created a new view here called group by. Now, the reason I didn't do a group by in this view is because I want to keep all items. So just so you know, if you have a question how to create a group by, I would normally go to the gear icon, list settings. I would go to create view. So let me move me down here in the bottom. I would click on create view, and then I would duplicate the all items view. That's how I do it. So I would say start from an existing view, duplicate it, and then configure your group by. So to configure your group by, you just come into the view settings. And in the view settings, there is a section called group by. And this is just SharePoint. And you can see it right down. Let's see, it's already open for me, is it? It's right here, group by. And so you can see I've grouped by task type. And that's what created this view. Now, the next thing that I want to do is this is just me being picky. I hate how it repeats the word task type, group by, task type, group by, task type, task type. I want to change this, and I really don't want a count. I don't really care about the count or the total of brainstorming. What I want to do is I want to replace that with an emoji. So let's see if we can use Copilot to do the same thing rather quickly. All right. Actually, I grouped by that column. The type task, I want to replace the group by headers with the task type text and the emoji. Can we do that? And so this is different. This is called in list formatting. Before, every time we were doing column formatting, right, for the column, this is actually, can we do that in a list format? List conditional format. So this time we're doing a list version. And so now I'm reaching out to it again. I'm saying, hey, give me that group by. Let's kind of take a look at it. And you can see here it's doing group at field data. That's what we want. We want it to really use the group by. So I'm going to copy this and say, hey, Copilot, you did pretty good. Now, I'm not saying this is perfect. I did have to have a conversation with it. I kind of had to lead it to where I wanted it to. But I mean, that's just where AI is right now. I think in the future, maybe within 6 months, I mean, it might be 3 months, 6 months, it's just going to get better and better. So right now, I kind of had that conversation with it. I gave it the preview. And so now we can see that it has brainstorming, building, and also the number. And I can have that conversation with it more. So that looks great. That looks great. Can we remove the totals? So just now kind of give it a little bit more, kind of massage. I guess we'll say we'll massage the AI to how we want it. Just kind of give it a little bit more. Say, hey, no, that looks great. But now, no, you know how it gives a total number on the right side? Remove that. So now we're just kind of talking to it a little bit more and just saying, hey, give me what I want. I really don't want those numbers there. So now I'm going to paste that in, and there we go. So now we have a group by, right? We have a group by. We can open up. We can see our fields there. It looks great. I really like the way this looks. We can even give it a little bit more. This is great. This is great. Can we make the row colors different for each of the 3 group bys? So now I'm giving it a little bit more. Okay, we got an emoji. We got the text. We removed the totals. Let's copy. Let's see how it does here. Let's see if it does give me some colors. So look at that. Now we have different colors. I don't like that the brainstorming is yellow. Let's make the brainstorming green. I like green for brainstorming, right? All right, so we've talked to it. We got a little bit more in there. Perfect. There we go. So now we have different row formats for each one, different background colors. Brainstorming now has this beautiful green. We have our columns. We have a emoji for the rating. We have our risks emoji. We have our group bys that look beautiful. We have made SharePoint look beautiful rather quickly. So I just wanted to show everyone how you don't actually have to have Power Apps. You don't have to deal with delegation in SharePoint. If you actually use SharePoint to your advantage, you can make SharePoint look beautiful. I really think that you can. There's even other things we could do. So let's, can we come in here and add an emoji right here? Let's see, Windows. Can we add a, let's see, project. Let's see here. Let's see, what should we do? Paper. Let's add in some paper. Look at that. We can add emojis into our list. I really like the way that looks. And then on top of everything, after everything is complete in SharePoint, you can easily come to the top right up here and do open and immersive mode. And all of this settings is going to take over in Microsoft Lists. You can now integrate Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. You have these new quick steps, rules. So instead of using SharePoint alerts, you have rules. We have a beautiful SharePoint list or Microsoft list now. Takes up the entire screen. I hope this was helpful. To me, this is a lot of fun. I want to see all of you take it to the next level. Remember, you always have GitHub to kind of help you. So if you want to take a look at all the extra examples that other people have created in GitHub, that's also another option. So if you're ever thinking about new ideas or you kind of want to check things out, you can always come to column samples and check out what the community has created. So there's a lot of really awesome things that the community has created. So we can see here date difference, data bars. There's all kinds of custom things that people have created. But with Copilot, we can do it ourselves. I really like using emojis. That's one of my main things that I like. But you can come in here and take a look at their JSON, right? And then you can share that with Copilot or whatever your AI tool is to help you configure it how you want, right? You don't have to be this super knowledgeable coder anymore. We now have AI to help us. So I will have a link of the code samples in the description of the video. If you want some of the formulas that I used in my SharePoint list, feel free to leave a comment. I can put them in a comment right? So I normally can't put it in the description of YouTube because it will edit out the coding, but I can put it in a comment. So if you want one of the formulas, ask in a comment. I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is something I really love. So now that we have this beautiful conditional formatting, maybe the next step, in my opinion, would actually be to integrate a Power App to have a new beautiful form. And so then you don't have to have a full Power App. You can, and with delegation issues, right? Everyone's always like, SharePoint delegation so bad. Well, what if you just use SharePoint and integrate Power Apps on top of it? No more delegation. Thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. I'll see you next week.